In light of our state centennial, how would you explain to the next generation of Arizonans how important the Central Arizona Project is to the future of our state?
Well, I always come back to, as a healthcare professional, letting people understand that you usually can't go much past 7 days without water, without dying. And that's usually the starting of an educational process. And we in Arizona know more about that than anybody. The intricacies that we have with CAP water is a marvel to today. You know, nearly 50% of the water that comes to Phoenix comes from our CAP water, and nearly 80% of the water that goes to Tucson comes from the CAP water. So, I mean, we don't have the infrastructure built without CAP water. I think there's always great opportunities, and I think if you go by the adage, particularly in the West, that, you know, whiskey's for drinking, water's for fighting over.
Yes.
But you have to understand, it doesn't, no label or party actually dictates, the water policy of the West. And we all have to work with this cooperatively. And I think not only the compact that we share on the Colorado River, but also how we were able to install or build the CAP water. Some of our great legends have been stalwarts in water policy in Arizona that have really created the legend of where Arizona has really taken water policy. No other state matches what we have.
Since CAP is the largest consumer of NGS power, is there something more we can do to assure that this plant stays open?
When this administration talks about all the above energy policy, it has to include coal because it's a baseline. There is no energy or process that's within 10 years of coming in to the Page area to replace our coal-fired plants. This is a necessity, and if we do not have CAP water or the power to power it, we don't have the existence of Phoenix and Tucson or 80% of the population of Arizona. This is a reality that we need to work with, and it's up to us to educate and retool the administration and the American public.
The Central Arizona Project is a feat of engineering. Do you have any personal anecdotes or recollections from visiting or touring its operations?
I think getting a chance to see the whole aspect of CAP is just an absolute marvel. This is something that I think is one of the treasures of technology and the American spirit. This ought to be mandatory teachings in Arizona, to be able to see it and touch it and understand what people actually really did to get this here. But it needs to be at the forefront, and I don't think it's optional. We have to learn from its great use.